Hello everybody, welcome to TLDR, where I TLDR stuff. Today I'm going to be TLDRing Dragon Ball. Recently I read all of Dragon Ball, and in the manga that includes Z and Super in a couple of days, mainly because it was just good. And I read it instead of watching it because I didn't want to see the same two characters glare at each other for 4 hours as the animators padded for time. Originally, Dragon Ball was a parody of Journey to the West, which, if you don't know, is like this thing about a monkey and he goes to the West to get a medicine for a thing, I think. I only read like half of it. That's like some Chinese mythological whatever. Toriyama himself talked about how much he loved martial arts movies and Jackie Chan stuff, and after a trip to China, he sort of came up with this idea, or rather his wife did after serving tea to him and his editor. The parody to the Journey to the West stuff stops pretty early on, though. The main point of Dragon Ball and Super and Z is also pretty early on, too, and it's right after the first little section, which actually, let's talk about that portion first. It's essentially like a coming-of-age story, where a secluded Goku who lived in the mountains gets out and sees the world and interacts with people for the first time. But I say coming of age loosely because it's revealed that Goku's like 12 there, not really an age for him to come into. Basically, what I'm saying is there's no excuse for this stuff. Ugh. Not that it wasn't slightly amusing in a couple of places, but I guess we'll just have to go with it's like 1980s Japan, and so the pedophilia is excused. Anyway, that portion still was quite freeing and expansive. Dragon Ball works best when it's like an adventure story where the world expands and grows and includes sci-fi and magic and dinosaurs and literally everything. Not that the martial art portions aren't cool, because they are. But after that first little adventure portion comes the point of Dragon Ball, and one single panel. Different translations say it differently, but essentially he's saying, we don't do martial arts to win, but we do it to conquer ourselves. Well, this and the panel that comes right afterward. If somebody commits injustice or threatens others, then we take them down in one mighty blow. It is kind of a simple lesson, but all the lessons in Dragon Ball are simple. They're kind of used as like a bludgeon to hit you over the head with. The fights and the power system are also quite simple. Essentially, it's just ki or chi, which is what martial artists use. And then there's magic, which ki has some magical abilities to it and qualities. And there's tech, and tech kind of has some key abilities to it. The fights are usually they just train, they fight the bad guy, they're on the cusp of winning, but the bad guy levels up at the last second and then beats them up, and then they level up themselves and then take out the bad guy after a couple of punches or one mighty blow. Not that simple as bad though. It's just formulaic at times, especially when the endless churn machine of profit demands nostalgia bait. And so we get situations like in Dragon Ball Superhero, where we get the same exact panel of Gohan where the line strikes through his head and then he gets like angry or whatever, and like he's like after Cell kills someone close to him, or he thought that Piccolo died, but he didn't actually die in the movie. Sorry for the spoiler. Anyway, and then he levels up and then beats Cell in one blast or whatever. And there's also like when they can't let characters die, like Frieza, like him constantly coming back as Golden and now Black after a little bit of training. So it can get repetitive. That's not really an issue when it's good. People do complain about the power creep, but that's an integral part of the series since the very beginning. I mean, the sheer scale might be an issue, where the last arc's peak is the next arc's fodder. It is ultimately a series about getting stronger and conquering oneself to take out evil in one mighty blow. Yeah, it is very repetitive actually. I do like it though. Reading it is addictive. Toriyama knew how to do action and to do movement and time so well. Toyotaru a little less so. Like in this panel, where usually in manga you read right to left, I don't know why, but because you read right to left, first you see Goku screaming some martial arts, whatever, and then his determined face, and then you see the elbow with the action lines, and then the impact, and then you see Piccolo with his eyes bulging from the impact. The implication being that Goku, in his windup, is so fast that he already sent Piccolo flying away. More of these couple of panels, especially with the one on the bottom left, where you see Roshi first jump, and then you see the clean action lines of Yamcha, so implying that he's spry and he's quick and agile. But Roshi is more quick, and it implies that partially Roshi's age prevents him from doing these crazy movements, but also he's a martial arts master, and he's already several steps ahead of Yamcha. It is masterfully made. It's an addictive fighting manga. The anime is worse off for pacing issues and whatnot. Yeah, it's good. 8.7 out of 10.